For 3.5 years, Bosnian Serbs sat up here with their guns. The city was laid out like a map beneath their feet. You could see how easily they could pick off targets. In the streets below, 12,000 died, and the Sarajevo cemeteries spread and spread. The experience still feels raw, the scars still visible. For what happened here was an attempt by force to wipe an entire country off the map by slicing it into ethnically pure chunks. 2/3 of the territory of Bosnia the Serbs earmarked for themselves, and they set about making sure that no one else would be able to live there. The Bosnian Serb war aim was the destruction of Bosnia. They said it had no legitimacy, no right to exist. They wanted, as they put it, to strangle it at birth. Well, 13 years after the guns fell silent, the Bosnian Serbs are still unreconciled to the existence of Bosnia and still do everything they can to make sure that it fails to function as a state. The campaign began here in the northeastern town of Bijeljina. Serb paramilitaries led by the notorious and feared Željko Ražnjatović, known as Arkan, seized control. Civilians were shot dead in the street. Bosnia's war gave to the lexicon of conflict a grim new euphemism: ethnic cleansing. In time, hundreds of thousands of non-Serbs were rounded up, some interned in concentration camps, some murdered, most just driven out. Well, this is it. This is Bijeljina, the place where the first shots were fired in Bosnia. This is the place where the campaign to carve out an ethnically pure Serbian state in Bosnia began on the 31st of March 1992, and from here it spread out across the whole republic. The result was a war which on average cost 100 lives a day, every day, for 3.5 years. And when you come back here now, you see that in town halls, in police stations, in courtrooms, up and down what is now Republika Srpska, the men who planned and carried out that massive campaign of ethnic cleansing are still at their desks. They're still running the place. Radovan Karadzic might be in The Hague, but the ethnically pure little Serb republic he built is alive and well. And for 13 years its leaders have thwarted most international efforts to build a functioning Bosnian state. Sarajevo's writ doesn't run here. The local courts are supposed to prosecute war criminals. They don't. Meet Mirko Blagoević. Since the war he's enjoyed a fine, high-profile political career as leader of the Serbian Radical Party in Bosnia. The party's overall leader, Vojislav Šešelj, is on trial in The Hague, accused of genocide. In Bijeljina, Šešelj is not a war criminal, but a war hero. According to evidence presented to the Hague Tribunal, Mr. Blagoević led a paramilitary unit in 1992 which cooperated with Arkan's so-called Tiger Brigades in the cleansing of Bijeljina.
Što se tiče gospodina Željka Ražnjatovića, Arkan, da, tačno je da je on došao 1. aprila u Bijeljinu sa 29 ljudi. Ali samo sa 29 ljudi. Ali u odbrani i deblokadi Bijeljine učestvovao je sembirski narod. Ja sam se ovdje branio. Jer je meni izvjesni došao ovdje gospodin da mi baci bombu na moj lokal.
Just to be clear, did you command a group of paramilitaries at that time?
Ne. Tada smo bili ovdje, unutra lokala, ispred lokala, niko nije bio. A ja sam bio sa svojom suprugom i sa društvom i samo je jedan slučajno imao pištolj. I iz toga pištolja sam ja toga ranio koji je pokušao da baci bombu na moj lokal.
Salem Čorbo was one of those driven from his home. He says Mirko Blagoević played a key role in Arkan's reign of terror in Bijeljina.
Njegovi ljudi, da koristimo taj termin, su najbolje znali Bijeljinu i ljude u Bijeljini. I jako su dobro poznavali ljude muslimanske nacionalnosti. I oni su bili ti koji su dovodili ljude ili pokazivali kuće i adrese da bi se došlo do tih ljudi. Veoma veliki broj ljudi je odveden u tadašnji krizni štab SDS-a i iz koga niko nije izašao živ.
In fact, one person did get out alive. Yusuf Turbic was a prominent Bijeljina journalist. Mirko Blagoević arrested him at gunpoint and he was marched through the center of the town.
At that place,
Here?
there were the bodies, 3 bodies, and one was in the court of mosque.
There was a body here?
Yes.
And
Nearby mosque, 3 bodies were on the ground.
And what did you think when you saw those bodies? Were you afraid?
Of course, at that moment I have more dead than life. In this house, killed maybe 10 people.
This house?
In this house.
Arkan had turned a local government building that stood on this site into his paramilitary headquarters. This is where Yusuf Turbic was brought.
All night I have beaten.
You were beaten?
Yes. And 10 times they draw me out to kill me and go back. It was a terrible experience for me.
Mock execution?
Yes. At that place killed many people. I have seen some of them.
Mirko Blagoević, paramilitary turned politician, is in Bijeljina's main square to launch his party's election campaign. Did you take Mr. Yusuf Turbic
Da.
from his house to Arkan's headquarters?
Ne, ja sam gledao jedan drugi zadatak da završi, da se obrati građanima Bijeljine, pogotovo Bošnjacima, da uklone barikade.
Mr. Blagoević, we've spoken to people who say that you were seen with Arkan's troops going to the homes of prominent Bosniaks and taking them to the headquarters that Arkan had set up here in Bijeljina. Is it true or not?
Ne, ja ni jednom Bošnjaku nažao nisam učinio ništa. Doduše ovi drugi su ovi koji su imali oružje i koji su se borili.
Suddenly, bizarrely, I found myself posing for a photograph with the former Serb paramilitary and his Muslim accuser. But that is so weird. Yusuf, is it true that he took you to Arkan's people?
Yeah, it's true.
Why does he deny it so completely?
Yeah,
Malo nam se razlikuje percepcija gospodina Jusufa Trbića I moja, ali...
But this is the strangest thing, to stand and pose for a photograph.
Yes, very, very strange, but maybe it's a last photo for Mirko Blagoević, I hope. Last in freedom.